Hey, how you guys
Hikaru,
doing? Hey.
thanks for jumping on. Today, we were certainly entertained. Before we jump into the game, can you maybe share your emotions right when the game ended?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say I was pretty upset, obviously, because I mean, I blundered bishop takes g3, and I was very lucky that I wasn't losing after that. I think what I would say is I don't know if this is a byproduct of getting older, but I do find, at least in recent years, that when I do something that I think is wrong in a game, it generally affects me quite adversely, and I like my whole mood and mindset is pretty negative. And I mean, that's what happened to me in this game. Like, I played this queen e2 line, and I thought that I basically thought that I should have played knight f3 and a4 right away. So like I was just very upset with myself for having played what I perceived during the game to be a wrong order. As it turns out, it's probably completely fine. But I spent a lot of time being upset about that, and then like I was not happy with the lines with knight takes h3, which apparently are good for me, by the way. Or I mean, I don't know about the strong computers necessarily what's going on here, but yeah, like queen e3 and knight c5, and apparently this is just good for me after knight. Yeah, this one's not good, I don't think, but knight b3 is good. This one's nothing. Knight b3 is the only one that I have, and apparently after knight e4, bishop d2, white's still better. But I mean, I was worried about a4. I was worried about f5. I mean, it's very hard to judge what's going on here. I mean, apparently this is winning for white. Apparently, I mean, actually, I haven't consulted my team, so I don't actually know.
Yeah,
And
I
and
was
we're talking
gonna
about the
ask
weak
you,
engine.
when you
Mhm.
say apparently, so where do you get the information from?
Yeah, so I'm saying basically on site when I was doing the post game interviews, like I saw chess.com was, I saw the engine when I did one of the interviews, so that's what I'm basing it off of. Again, it's hard for me to know what the reality was. Like, yeah, like I mean, but is this really so good? F5 here?
Well, I let me ask you a question, Hikaru. Do you think this game was easy enough for the chess.com computers to fully understand what was going on?
Well, I don't think so, because the line that I looked at, even if it was only an extra move, was bishop d8 instead of knight d7, and I don't think the weak engines even mentioned that move. So either the people who did the work on the files messed up, or the weak engines aren't that strong. So it's kind of hard to judge what the reality was. But yeah, I mean, I was just very upset at myself, basically. And I think it was pretty obvious. I just sat there for like 40 to 50 minutes. And I mean, at least half that time was just like, what am I doing, basically? Um, so yeah, I was kind of very unhappy with myself here, and then I just played a4, which I actually just blundered bishop g3. Like, I was very lucky to not just be lost here. So yeah, I blundered bishop takes g3, and then it's all gone. And like I said, I was very lucky to not be losing here. But that's what essentially happened. I mean, I would just say, like, that's something that's happened to me a lot in recent years, more than the past. Where like if I do something that like I feel like was just a mistake, or I can recognize at that moment in time, it just tends to have a bad effect on me. And then like I spent time, I was gonna play knight h3, then I was gonna go a4, then I was gonna go like knight df3, like, and then finally I just played a4, just sort of because I had to make a move. And it was just not the right move, obviously. But um, yeah, I mean, at any rate, it's the result is what it is. And yeah, I'm not super unhappy about the result, but I'm unhappy about the way that I got the result.
We
Do
were
you believe?
actually
Sorry,
just a
Fiona.
very quick question about this moment exactly, because we saw something which we don't see often when we watch you play, that you were reaching out, 5, 6 times for a piece, and then, uh,
Hmm.
the arm was coming back. Do you
Yes.
feel that, like, can you talk a bit more about, what was happening in that moment?
Well, I mean, a large part of that is that basically, after King G8 was played, I told myself that I was going to use time to play my moves, and I played Queen E2 after like 5 minutes or something. So it's like I told myself I was going to use my time, so I built this big advantage. We were already up to like move 23, 24. Like, time pressure was never going to be an issue in this game. And so I told myself to use a lot of time, and then I played Queen E2 after 5 minutes. So that I think also didn't help. And that's why I was just sitting there thinking. And I actually, yeah, I just missed bishop g3 completely. I just completely missed it. Like, I spent all my time looking at this, looking at the knight h3 lines, for example. This one loses though. But or not, that loses for black. But like, I spent all my time looking at these knight h3 lines, and I just could not work out what was going on. And then I started looking at alternatives, and then I like wasn't sure about that either. And Yeah, just a big mess. I mean, I'm honestly a little surprised just how good this position is, apparently, at least according to these engines, after knight b3, because I definitely during the game was not convinced that this was so special for white. I was really not convinced here, but maybe it is. Maybe it is just good. Oh, but the bar's coming down a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at this later. It's very hard to judge whether this was good or not. Like, just gonna have to look at this later. That's all there is to it.
There's a saying, Hikaru, long think, bad think, or no,
Mhm.
what is it? Something
Oh,
like
of
that.
course, I completely agree with that. I mean, I want to make a move, but the problem is that I basically thought I was much better. If I had played knight f3 and a4, which as it turns out I'm not, but that was like in my mind I already thought I was much better if I did that, and so I was just kind of upset at myself.
So after you went queen e2, you believe that you had made a mistake playing queen e2 and should have gone.
Yeah, I thought I should have gone knight f3, knight e4, a4, but apparently after knight hf2, it's a draw or something. Which, but again, you see from the bar, like this bar is shifting up and down, so it's very hard to judge. Like even this, I'm not sure what's with now knight g5. Like I don't know what the actual evaluation is. Now it's saying knight g5 is winning, but like I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at this with one of the supercomputers and then go from there. But it's very hard to know what was objectively happening. Very hard to know.
We agree. We tried and we basically, yeah, we struggled because this was just a tremendously complicated game. Do you feel like the opening was a success? Did you get what you were looking for?
I mean, I was hoping he wouldn't remember one of the four straws, and he didn't. So, I mean, I got all that I could have asked for, but yeah, I mean, I got what I wanted, and then of course you're going to be surprised at some point because of course we're not computers, and yeah, somewhere around here, oh, it's not. I mean, yeah, I mean, of course there are a couple ways for black to draw this position already here, but you know, you're just hoping your opponent doesn't remember it. So I got what I wanted for sure. I got what I wanted. I was up on time, and then yeah, I just didn't find the right moves, unfortunately.
The first moment where you paused, I believe, was after knight d7.
Yeah, because as I mentioned, the line that I had looked at was very briefly was bishop to d8, which again, it's not even mentioned here. So like this is why I'm not sure. Like either it's a bad move or the people who did the file.
I think it was Sessa. It was Sessa's top move.
Bishop d8 was the top Sessa move.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so this is what I'm saying. Like the weakchess.com engine, like it's very hard to judge. And I knew bishop d8, knight d3 was the line. So when he played knight d7, I wasn't sure. Like that was kind of the point. Yeah, so I mean that already makes me feel a lot better about everything that you say Sessa like bishop d8, because that tells me that I'm not insane. And yeah, it is what it is, but you know, it's life. So I probably had an opportunity, maybe one or two moves. Again, it's hard to know, like, you know, what Nepo said in the post-mortem, whether, or at the press conference, whether he would have actually played the moves that he mentioned and gone into an endgame that's probably losing. I mean, who knows if that would have happened or not. We need more time to think, but just, I feel like I had some chances today is what it
Wait,
felt
what
like.
did Nepo say?
Well, he was saying, we mentioned the knight c5 line. He was saying he didn't want to play knight c5, basically. He was saying, yeah, and chat saying knight f3 is winning according to Sessa. Okay, that makes me feel even more unhappy in a way. But no, he was saying he was going to play something like this, queen e1 and f5, something like this. He thought was playable, like something like this. But I think this is just losing. I just take and go bishop f4, and white's just much better. I mean, white's probably winning here actually. So yeah, I mean, or maybe bishop f4 is wrong too. Who knows? But I mean, if he'd played this, I think I would have won the game. But I don't know if he would have actually played this. It's on the spur of the moment. We're of course trying to analyze, and you're not really thinking about it for 10 minutes. So hard to know whether this would have happened. But definitely, definitely, I would say a missed opportunity today.
Do you think it's unusual? Because, well, I spent some time with Magnus over the years, and he was always going on about how Kramnik is just the biggest liar in press conferences and always kind of making sure that everyone thinks he's a genius and that he's seen everything and that he made all the right evaluations. And now you're saying that Nepo was voluntarily saying what he had calculated, and it turns out that
he was saying this, yeah. But again, I mean, Nepo's not like Kramnik. I mean, I like he's definitely optimistic about his chances, but it's never quite to that degree, I feel. So
but he's not hiding. Kind of, he's willing to risk everyone knowing, he knows everyone has computers, and he's still willing to say, this is what I was thinking,
Well, I
even
think
at the risk of being,
right, but
embarrassed by the computer evaluations.
right. I think the thing though also for Nepo is he of course he's done a lot of preparation in the Petrov for the last couple of years for the World Championship. So it's very possible he saw a similar position to this, that for whatever reason, maybe if the pawn's on A4, black's fine, for example, or something stupid like that that somehow changes the whole evaluation. Like, so I think there's a good chance that he was being honest and probably he had seen a similar position, but maybe the pawns are on A4 and A3 or something, like there's like some little nuance that changes it completely. So yeah, like actually, is how good is this for white if you throw this in? If black was like, yeah, I mean it's still good for white, but it's not. Maybe long term it's winning, but like I'm not convinced. Like in a game, I wouldn't be convinced that this is winning for white. I would not be convinced at all. So yeah, like it's all kind of hard to judge. I don't know if this would have happened if I had played it, but yeah, the fact that I mean knight f3 I should have played, that's kind of annoying actually, kind of annoying. But
So
so
that's
be
your
it.
regret, knight f3 here.
I mean, again, I don't know though. Like, I don't know. Is this actually like I don't know because the engines are too weak. I don't know.
I didn't want to mention it because, but as someone pointed it out in the, and Hammer said to me, are you gonna dare saying to Hikaru that rather than going for the logical queen e2, I believe that this was Sess's top choice and was like
Yeah. So
+1. But +1, I mean, it wasn't winning, but I think it
yeah,
was the best chance in the game.
yeah. I mean, it's very hard to judge what the reality is. Really hard to judge. But yeah, basically after he played 94, I was just upset at myself because I thought I had missed a great chance to put the knight on f3, but you know, it is what it is, kind of. Yeah, I mean, probably I should have just traded the knights on h3, gone king g1, and just played the position. But I basically just missed bishop g3, so I was looking for something other than playing knight h3, and then yeah, I ended up playing something other than knight h3, and it was just a very bad move. So just how it goes.
I want to ask you again about that moment. You know, we had the not just the normal camera, but the zoom in camera on your face when Bishop G3 appeared. And I think a lot of people in the chat mostly were worried that you might even, you know, lose at that moment because it was clear from your body language that you had missed it completely. But then I was quite impressed, you know, how quickly you managed to regain your composure. So can you tell us a little bit about the thought process of what happens? Because I'm sure the emotions come very quickly when Bishop G3 appears.
Well, I mean, the thing is, as soon as I played the move, I saw that was a problem. So as soon as I moved and got it from the board, I realized that there was bishop takes g3. So I mean, it didn't come as a complete shock at the board itself, but yeah, I was very upset about it. I mean, but still, luckily they were pretty much sure. I think h3 is the only move I can even play to not lose the game on the spot. So luckily the moves were just straightforward there, and that kind of saved me. So yeah, I mean, I again, I think Jan was right here that he could have played on maybe for a little bit more after knight g3, king e1 takes, and like maybe he could have gone. Well, I thought what he did was fine, but like bishop g4, rook c3, and maybe queen c2 would have been a better try. I mean, I still think this is most likely a draw after, let's just say, knight f3, but maybe black can go f6 and king f7. I mean, and just try to slowly play this. I don't really see why white should be much, or why black should be much better, but if anybody can win, it's probably going to be black.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's such a tricky position, right? Because I'm looking at the chess.com engine now saying advantage white, but at the same time, there's just white has no control over the light squares on the board, right?
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I suspect it's probably just a draw with correct play, which is not surprising. But if anybody can try, it's probably black. So, I mean, Jan could have tried to do this, but I thought what he did was also extremely sensible, just to make the draw. Because I mean, the sense I got is that both of us thought we had done something wrong during the game. Because Jan obviously knew that this line is a forced draw, but he couldn't remember it at the board. So he was probably relieved because he knew he had done something wrong. But then I'm also relieved because I've messed up and blundered bishop takes g3. So I think I mean, it kind of like it offsets for both of us. And yeah, that's what it is.
Do you feel, you know, when you came into the interview, the first thing you said is obviously you're quite upset, but do you think it's the kind of game where as you go through it later, the emotions might not be as like that the
Well,
upset will go down.
I mean, I think what I would say is, I said it before, there are going to be opportunities in this tournament, and whoever capitalizes on them is probably going to win the event. And I feel like today was one of probably the biggest opportunities I'm going to have. And I kind of squandered it. So I'm not, I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm not very happy. I don't think that's going to change. But you know, it is what it is. At least I didn't lose the game, because that would have been worse.
Do you want to take a quick look? Alireza is in big trouble against Gukesh, but they had a big time scramble. Oh, maybe it's not clear any longer.
Let's see it. Okay.
Gukesh has sacrificed a piece since the last we were here.
Yeah, this looks horrible for white. If the times are to be believed. This move 30, 10 moves in 2.5 minutes here. I mean, I would hate to play this with white. Ay. I mean, no, I would hate to, after Queen A5, what is even your move? Queen F3, Queen B. I mean, ay. This is I would not want to have this position with 2.5 minutes on the clock. Assuming Gukesh plays Queen A5. Even if white's okay here, I would not want to have this position. Did we get a move?
I think
No.
we did. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Bishop C5, yeah. Queen B3, only move to not lose, I guess. Like, it's actually not a hard move to find, though. He should find it. Like, it's the only move, right? Yeah, it's the only. Oh wait, but rook D. Oh, because your rook takes D4 first. Wow. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't find it, I'd be very shocked. Let's just say.
Well, he needs to move something because he already spent 30 seconds and he doesn't really have that much time to begin with.
Well, I mean, but this is what I said at the start. Like, I mean, obviously, I think for certain players, no increment, and I think this actually for me too, if I can get to situations with no increment, it's probably a good thing. But the game just, the complexion changes so completely when there's no increment. Like, it just changes completely because, like, this position, like, if Alireza or anybody in the tournament, frankly, is 30 seconds, but they have a 30-second increment, I think they're gonna draw this game easily with white. Like, it's gonna be a breeze, but with no increment, all the game flow is just completely different. So,
but now that he found Queen B3, he's safe, no?
How safe is he? I mean, it looks pretty safe, right? Takes. Queen B3, Knight B3 takes, Rook E3. Looks pretty safe to me. I mean, A5, A5, A4. Actually, still not so simple.
Is Alireza playing for a win here?
Yeah, I don't know who's playing for a win. I don't know. Like, there's A4, and B5. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. This is gonna be very Knight A1. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be very chaotic still, though. But the good thing for Alireza is we're close to move 40. Like, and it's an end game, so his moves aren't that difficult.
So he's definitely going to make the time control, right?
I mean, I expect him to. Like, on the flip side, I would say, like, this is one of the weaknesses with Gukesh, though, is that I certainly feel that when he gets low on time, he's a player who makes more mistakes. He's not as precise. So I think we could still see some mistakes here. By the way, it's because I saw someone in chat say double X slam. Queen B3 is not a double X slam move. Chess.com, for whatever reason, they still haven't fixed this. And a move that's like an only move that doesn't lose the game gets 2X slams, which, of course, is completely wrong, but that's life.
When you watch this game, how much do you care? Because if Gukesh wins, he will be in the sole lead with 5 out of 7. Do you kind of root for Alireza to not lose, or are you more
I mean,
indifferent?
I don't really root for anybody. I still feel like I'm gonna have chances, whether it's one move or a couple of moves in a game. I still think I'm gonna have a chance to try and win some games somewhere. So I'm not really thinking about it that much. But it's certainly annoying. Like, I'll give you a good example. So, like, if I don't know if Abasov is hanging on today, but can we pull up the Abasov game?
He was struggling the last time we saw.
Well, but like, this is a perfect example of, like, when I talk about luck. So Vida plays a Berlin, right? This is another Berlin. This is another Berlin. And Abasov has been making draws very easily against everybody with white. Like, that's been his goal, is to make draws with white. Like, I know, like, people won't like me saying that, but that's what he's doing. He's happy to make a draw with white. And then today against Vida, he doesn't make the draw. Like, he could have forced a draw in the opening, but he doesn't force a draw. He decides to play today with the white pieces. And that's where, like, when we talk about luck in the candidates, this is what I mean. Where, like, there's a situation where someone's making all the smooth draws with white, and then suddenly today, like, Abasov decides to try and play for the win with white instead of making the draw. And that's like a good example of how, like, you know, fortunes, like, game to game, the ebbs and the flows of this tournament, things completely change.
But do you, like, to play the devil's advocate, do you think he would play for the win if Vidit wasn't Vidit? Like going into this tournament, Vidit by
Yeah.
many was predicted to be the seventh best player in the field, and definitely the white game against Vidit would be the best chance Abasov maybe would have to score a win.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at it that way, but you could also look at it as just like, why not be principled and try to play like that against everybody? But you know, I mean, obviously, like it's not a big deal to me, but that's what I talk about when I say like luck in a tournament like the Candidates. Is there are certain moments where like the players inexplicably in one game someone goes crazy. And I feel like actually I think Vita's probably going to win this game today, and that's going to be a huge boost for him. Like I expect him to win this game with the black pieces.
But it got, this is seriously weird. I mean, we looked at this briefly before you came on, Hikaru, but so much has happened since. And I'm noticing this pawn takes
Oh,
h3. You can
there's rook f6 for the miracle save.
so
Oh, that's
Abasov.
wait, but then is White trying to win now? I don't know. I'm wondering, is White trying to win? I have no idea what the heck's going on here, but maybe White's trying to win. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's getting kind of chaotic. But yeah, I don't know.
These guys have made the time control already. I'm kind of curious to just
Yeah, let's
see
go
how
back to
the
Alirez's game. Let's I'll stay with you guys until that ends, and then I'll go do a recap. Okay, so we got what we expected.
Fabiano has made a draw, by the way.
Right. Also, I mean, I was kind of shocked to see that. I was shocked to see Prague kind of going a little bit crazy and playing the classic surrender opening. I was just shocked to see that. I didn't expect that at all. But it seemed to have paid huge dividends, as it didn't look like he was ever in trouble in his game.
Yeah, no, he had an advantage, quite a significant one at some point.
Ah, really? Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously I wasn't paying much attention to the games because basically, like, I was either in preparation or I was thinking for 50 minutes. So there wasn't really a whole lot that I noticed. But yeah, I mean, obviously players have chances. They're going to be chances, especially in an event like this where the players are so tightly bunched. And you know, if you win a game, the standings change so dramatically. So yeah, it's looking like what we're gonna have 3 draws and then maybe a Vita win probably.
I'm not sure Vidit is winning.
Well, okay, we'll see what he does, but let's leave it on this one because actually I could see Gukesh losing here too. Like he's getting kind of low on time as well. Like we're gonna have the classic clown fiesta here. I think somebody's gonna blunder. By the way, I'm gonna make a prediction that this is not gonna be a draw. Somebody's gonna make a huge blunder and lose this end game.
But there's
still a
no
lot of
way
moves.
Alireza is losing this, right? He has a knight
A5?
for 3 pawns.
Well, 3 equals 3, and A5, A4 is coming. Like all it takes is, you know, you see the boogeyman, you see the 2 pawns coming up the board, and you're worried about your opponent pushing P, and you could easily blunder. Someone's gonna blunder though. Mark my words. Someone's gonna make a blunder here. I don't think this is gonna be a draw.
By the way, Hikaru, before we forget, chat has asked a few times to let you know that the support for you today was incredible. We actually crossed 22,000 viewers at some point,
Yeah.
which was really, really good. I just have a question as well. We're now at the halfway mark of the tournament, 7 rounds in. How do you reflect on the first half of your tournament overall?
I mean, today's game definitely sours it a little bit for me, simply because I felt like I had a big opportunity. Otherwise, I would say it's pretty standard. Again, like I mean, I know that I won the game against Alireza and I lost the game against Vidit, but you know, effectively for me, like both those results should have been different. I mean, against Vidit, when I spent the 40 minutes, I should have just forced a draw. I don't know what the heck I was even thinking about. And then against Alireza, of course, that also should have been a draw. So I'm pretty happy overall with those games. Today's probably the one game that I'm not very happy about because I felt like I had chance. Of course, without looking at it with a supercomputer, it's kind of hard to judge still whether it was really all that great or not. But I would say that that overall I'm fine with the results. I mean, if Gukesh wins today, it's probably bad. But so far, the tournament's playing out the way that I thought it would, where it's pretty tightly bunched up. And if I can just pick off a game or two towards the end, I think I have great chances to put myself in position. If I can't, that's life as well. But overall, I feel like I'm at about, considering what happened in round 2, this is about the best I could have asked for realistically. So so I'm not too unhappy other than about today's game specifically, but it is what it is.
And I have a question as well. And again, I don't know how much you want to reveal, but you mentioned this bishop d8 moment in your opening today, and that's what you thought, that's what the file said. And Hammer actually gave a big shout out to Chris Littlejohn. We don't know, of course, for a fact if he was the one who cooked up what we saw today, but is that how it works? Like you get files which you then revise on your own, or how much can you share about how exactly the preparation looks like?
First things first, this is actually a very critical moment. Computer wants 97 here, which I think did he play it?
He played it.
Ooh.
Amazing move from Alireza. Now, if pawn to a3, Alireza can sacrifice his rook, luring the black rook away from the defense of the black king in order to give a knight and rook checkmate in the corner. Very cool play from Alireza with only 36 seconds remaining for 4 moves.
Uh-oh. 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 I told you guys it wasn't going to be a draw. I think Alireza is going to win the game, by the way, now. All right, is rook b5 the only move, right? No, but I mean, this is so dangerous for black now. I think Alireza is going to win this game.
5 moves to make for Gukesh.
This is getting kind of dicey. Rook a5, rook c3, right? Like, rook ec3. Like, isn't white just winning here? Yeah, I mean, in Gukesh is 20 seconds. Alireza is going to win this game. Oh, wow.
We have a move?
What do we have? Do we
I'm still not sure what's going on here.
Both players are low on time. Let's see what's happening.
King h7,
rook f3 is winning. Rook f3, GG. Rook f3, rook f7, knight f6, rook g7 with the Arabian checkmate in the corner. Well, let's stop analyzing. Both players are down to seconds, so we get to see the clown fiesta. Let's see the bullet match. Let's see who's better here. Rook f. Yeah, Alireza is gonna win. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
A good result for you, though, Hikaru.
Yeah, no, of course, but just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yep.
He might lose on time even. Time,
baby. It's all about the time. Just not knight f6. Then there's rook e5, rook f5. Oh, man. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay.
With 4 seconds on the clock, Alireza has checkmated Gukesh to win the game.
Yeah, so now I feel like an idiot for not winning today, but hey, that's life. Anyway, but you know, there's also some irony in this too, because the irony, of course, is that now that he is realistically has no chance to win the tournament, of course he's going to win a game. Of course he's going to find a couple of good moves at the end and win a game, because now he doesn't care. Like that's also the irony about the whole thing. Like as soon as he realistically has no chance to win, of course he's going to win a game, because now it doesn't matter. So it's also kind of hilarious at the same time, to be honest. So yeah, that's pretty hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, pretty hilarious. No more pressure, and then you play better. So
well, I mean, there was some pressure. Like Alireza was losing not too long before. So the way
he kept the game going. He kept the game going, and I mean, once they got to scramble, yeah. No, but also I was going to say, like, that's actually, if I had to highlight a weakness of a player, I would say that is the big weakness relative to the other players in the field. I mean, excluding Abasov, that I think Gukesh is the one player who in Rapid and Blitz specifically is nowhere near as good as he is in classical chess, relative to like the other players. Like Prague, for example, is a phenomenal Rapid player. I mean, obviously Fabiano, myself, Nepo, the list goes on. But I feel like Gukesh is probably the one player who, if he gets low on time, he's not as good as the other players. I feel like he does make a lot more mistakes, and when he gets to like 5 minutes or less, so that is maybe the one knock on his game. And today, of course, as soon as 97 came in, it all fell apart. So yeah, it's what it is.
You predicted it.
Well, I told you guys it wasn't going to be a draw. I knew it was not going to be a draw. I didn't know who was going to blunder, but I knew somebody was going to blunder.
I said there's no chance Alireza loses this. I'll take like 20% credit for that.
Yeah. No, of course. I mean, 97 was a move that sort of upset the apple cart, and then Gukesh couldn't find the right solution to it. I mean, I'm not even sure what the solution is, honestly, to keep it equal, because this rook c3 idea is immensely dangerous here. Like, immensely dangerous. Like, I don't even know how you're supposed to draw this. But at any rate, it is what it is, which, of course, I guess, yeah, objectively for me, that's good, because if I can just pick off a game here or there, I have a chance. But, I mean, of course, this means Nepo is in the clear lead, right? I think Nepo's in the clear lead now, so we'll see.
And I did notice your reaction, Hikaru. This makes me more upset that I didn't win today. So like instantly you realize that with a win today, you would have been in the lead. You got
Yeah.
the standings really front and center in your mind, right?
Well, I mean, I know what they are. That doesn't mean that I'm thinking about it consciously, but I know what they are, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to make it very exciting though, because again, I feel like everyone's in the running. I mean, if Nepo doesn't lose any games, I mean, he's obviously the odds-on favorite to win. But if he loses the game, for example, then it's anybody's ball game. I mean, obviously, Vidit's still playing. I mean, who knows if he's going to win here or not? But it's gonna be a wild finish. I mean, regardless of whether I'm there at the end or not, I think you're going to see an event that in the last couple of rounds is going to be very, very dramatic, which is all the fans can ask for.
In the next game, Nepo has the white pieces against Abasov. Do you think that's going to affect the attitude of the players?
Well, I mean, we'll see. Abasov is a strong player. Let's see if he survives first today. But yes, I mean, Nepo is going to go all in. Make no mistake, he's going to go all in for the win with the white pieces in round number 8. No doubt about it. So it's going to be exciting, very exciting finish. I mean, if he wins, he's the odds-on favorite to win the tournament. But again, there's still what, 7 more rounds or something something.
Yeah.
I don't know, quite a while. I mean, quite a few more rounds at least if we can survive here in Toronto and not get shot. But yeah, we'll see.
Are people getting shot?
Well, there was like a shooting like 3 blocks from the hotel last night in Toronto. Someone died. So I mean, just saying, like, yeah, someone was shot like three blocks from the site hotel and died. So yeah, as long as we can all stay alive and not die, then yeah, it's gonna be an exciting finish. Or as Doc Education says, shots fired, literally. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Hikaru, we will let you go do your recap. Maybe your final thoughts if we bring up Abasov Vidit one last time.
Yeah. Okay, well now the danger's gone. The danger's completely gone for Abasov. This, I mean, if anything, I'd rather be white here, but I assume it's now someone's going to take that out of context, especially in relation to what I just said. But yes, in this position, I think the danger is gone for Abasov. Probably it's a draw, but I think Vidit might have to be a little bit careful here in this position. But anyway, so yeah, I think if anything, actually, if anything, I feel like Vidit might have to be a little bit careful here. This doesn't look obvious to me at all in terms of why this is a draw.
Vidit is also quite significantly down on time.
I'm going to be honest, this looks very dangerous. Because if Bishop G4, Queen F6, Queen F1 is the only easy draw here, that doesn't feel very intuitive to me. Like, I mean, maybe this is fine, but this is tricky. Like, this is tricky for Vidit here. I mean, how wild would it be if Abasov and Alireza win today? That would be actually really funny. Yeah, like I think Vidit will still probably save it, but he's going to have to probably use his time. He's going to be extremely accurate here. If he's not super accurate, I think Abasov is going to win this game. So there's probably going to be some drama in this game still as we head towards the finish. Although Bishop C8 maybe, actually Bishop C8 maybe is also quite simple. Because Knight A4, Queen E4. If there's no way to really just grab the pawns, probably it'll be a draw. But yeah, probably it'll be a draw. But still, let's see what happens. Actually, although this looks very complex too with A4, A5, and White's just pushing P. But yeah, I think this will be a draw. But I would say that I think for Abasov there's no danger. For Vidit there's still some danger potentially. So we'll see. But all right, you guys, I think I'm gonna go do my recap, and I will catch up with you guys in what, like 2 or 3 days or something, whenever this long tournament continues.
2 days from now sounds about right.
Enjoy your rest day, Hikaru.
Yeah, I'll try to enjoy it, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the recap, and good job doing the commentary, and I'll see everybody on a Tuesday, right? So hope you guys enjoy it.
Or it's called.
Sorry, what is? Oh wait, isn't today like Friday or Saturday? Oh,
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, whatever. Same difference. Whatever. Nobody cares. All right. So yeah, I'll see you guys. Okay, have a good one.
Have a good one. Good luck on Saturday.
Okay,
Bye.
see you guys.
Bye.